Andrew Channon. He's the CEO of Procure AM. This month, he launched the Procure Disaster Recovery Strategy ETF. I know that's a mouthful, but the symbol is FEMA, F-E-M-A, get it? Designed to invest in companies engaged in recovery and risk reduction related to natural disasters. Andrew, this is certainly topical. I just got back from Europe, where, by the way, the temperature was 100 degrees in the south of France and central Italy. They don't even know what's going on. They kept asking me to explain it. But explain to us how this ETF works. You've got 4 investment categories, right?
Yeah, so what we really wanted to do was we looked at what was going on with climate change, natural disasters, and realizing that this is actually becoming a growing concern where we're seeing the cost of devastation from natural disasters slowly rising. And so for us, this means that we need more resiliency, more mitigation, more recovery, more rebuilding. So trying to define what those companies that are involved in this entire life cycle of a natural disaster became extremely important. So our partners at Vetify and the team that helped construct this index looked at things like hurricanes, floods, droughts, wildfires, tornadoes, natural disasters that are occurring all around the globe, and what companies are actually stepping up to help us in those efforts. So you'll see a wide range of companies like consulting, engineering, home improvement, energy, portable energy solutions like generators, waste removal, and so many other crucial areas. So these are the companies that really help bring our lives back to normal when we need them the most.
Yeah, Tom, this is a lot like crypto mining. We talked about this years ago. Like, okay, so we had an ETF. How do you get exposure to crypto when there aren't many crypto companies here? I have the same reaction to this. It's a great idea. It's really topical. But when you look at the holdings, for example, here, it's pretty obscure companies. Fujitsu Limited, which is an IT firm. Verisk Analytics here. I just put up a few of them here. It's data analytics. Wilden Group is a technical consulting group in energy. Middlesex Water is a water company. These are all very interesting, but if there's a natural disaster, is any of these going to naturally move? I guess that's the problem I have. I love the idea. Just tell me how you capture that.
Well, the crazy thing is, especially since climate change is top of mind with everybody today, where you're thinking about floods, you're thinking about droughts, you're thinking about hurricanes, all these natural disasters are starting to add up to a lot of money. They're estimating that by the end of this century, it's going to be almost $2 trillion a year. That's a lot of money to spend for repair, whether it's software to analyze it, fixing bridges, construction, all this. And in constructing this index, the Vetify crew put a lot of time and effort into saying, this is not a small market cap, and natural disasters aren't going away. And with all this, Andrew's team came in and said, that makes sense. We're going to put an ETF around this because, unfortunately, there's a little bit of doom and gloom here, but this isn't going away.
Yeah, but you get my point about this, Andrew, because we had dealt with this with the crypto community years ago. How do you get exposure when, everybody's answer was, buy semiconductors, for example, and that's hard to say that's going to have any impact. If you want to buy into, the Bitcoin eco-structure. So tell us about some of these largest holdings. I mentioned Fujitsu, Verisk, Wilden Group, Middlesex Water. They're not exactly household names.
Sure, but let's talk about some of the other ones that we can point, real time to. So you looked at the Texas grid going down last year when Texas froze. What did you need? You needed emergency energy and mobile energy solutions. So a company like a Generac, which provides generators, saw a massive increase in demand. And now no one wants to be left without power, so you're seeing more and more people starting to purchase generators for their homes and offices. You look at something like a Hurricane Sandy, which affected New York and New Jersey and others tremendously. You have a company like Great Lakes Dredge and Dock that came and helped rebuild miles of the New Jersey coastline. These are companies that are coming in and helping us, whether it's trying to help us better prepare and build things like a Skanska out in Sweden that's helping to build water treatment facilities, helping to build up higher coastlines along riverbeds to prevent the damage from flooding. One of the first things I did when I was down in New Orleans when we heard Hurricane Katrina coming was everyone was going to Home Depot to buy plywood. And then you need to go and you need to purchase more stuff, whether it's shingles, whether it's things to repair, whether it's paint after these disasters. So it's a wide range of companies that are all involved throughout different parts of the life cycle. There's even an overlap that we have with UFO, our space ETF, which is Maxar, a company that has satellites in orbit around the globe that are helping us track weather patterns, alert us to the creation of new natural disasters, tracking the spread of wildfires. So it is a very diversified basket. Natural disasters are a global problem. If you go back to Tom's stat of the U.S. budget costing about $2 trillion to it from natural disasters alone, that doesn't include what it's going to cost other governments. That doesn't include what's going to cost individuals and households and companies for resiliency and preparedness and rebuilding efforts. And that $2 trillion alone is roughly $5.5 billion a day from the U.S. government alone. So this is something that we're seeing, significant calls for increase in needs. You look at just on the West Coast in California, they need to spend billions of dollars to make sure that hospitals are earthquake ready. So this is something that is going to be with us for a long time, and these are the companies that we need.
Yeah, Simeon, if you have any points you want to make on this, because you're an old pro at this too, please weigh in. But Tom, let me just point out to the viewers that Vetify did the index for this. Is that right?
That's right.
And explain how Vetify is making it possible for companies like this to do indexes.
Sure. So through Alarian indexes and the S Network index, they're now part of Vetify. And we, although most people know us through ETF Trends and ETF Database and the work that we do with the advisor community, we're now able to help out ETF issuers match up with long-standing indexes that not were just invested or invented overnight. These indexes have been around for a long period of time. They're out, all the data is out there, people can track them, and the great thing about the ETF industry... So
you're saying there's like indexes that nobody's using that you're helping people pick up on? Is that the point?
Absolutely, and the great thing is, with all the behavioral data we get from the advisor community, we can see which articles they're reading, and they tell us what they want more information on, which will inform ETF issuers like these folks of ETFs that they may want to bring to market.